Alright, hey guys, so I'm getting ready to go see Joker right now. So this is a movie that I've been so excited about for a very long time, basically since it was announced. Joaquin Phoenix has pretty much always been one of my favorite actors, and ever since I saw him in Walk the Line when he played Johnny Cash, he was brilliant. The Master is one of my all-time favorite movies, so that's one of the greatest performances. Basically, I think that Joaquin Phoenix is the finest actor working today, with the exception of maybe somebody like Daniel Day-Lewis, but they're definitely neck and neck. Anyway, when it comes to comic book movies, I'm one of those guys who's like, I'll watch them, and a lot of the times they are really good, but I can be really critical when they're not really that good. I never really read comic books when I was a kid. I did watch all the Saturday morning cartoon shows, so that's kind of my understanding of the characters. But I really was excited for this movie. I loved the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. Of course, Heath Ledger's Joker was phenomenal. Jack Nicholson's Joker was great. And it's such an interesting, crazy character, too. So you've got a guy who wants nothing but to create chaos and to mess with people's heads and to get them out of a comfort space. And that's a really intriguing concept. So I haven't read any spoilers for this movie, or I tried not to. I did read a couple of reviews where they let out some information, so I'm trying to go in with it as much of a blank slate as I can. Of course, I am familiar with the Martin Scorsese movies that are, I don't think like necessarily referenced, but homaged to an extent. In this movie, King of Comedy, of course, is a movie that I'm really quite familiar with, that I really love. And Taxi Driver is probably another one of my favorite movies. So this movie is supposed to kind of owe a lot of debt to those two movies. And I'm really excited about it. I'm going to give you some thoughts afterwards as well. All right, here we are. We're getting ready to go in to see Joker. So I'm so excited about this movie. A couple more quick thoughts. One is, initially I was a little nervous about Todd Phillips directing and writing this movie. Of course, Todd Phillips being the director of like the Hangover trilogy, a couple other kind of like college comedies, I think is what they call them. Anyway, fairly competent director. The first Hangover movie was really funny and a really interesting, cool movie. When you hear that he's going to direct a dark and gritty take on the Joker, it's kind of like, it's confusing. You don't know what to expect. Luckily, aside from all the controversy surrounding this movie, a lot of people say that he does a really great job. And I remember hearing a story, he looked at a billboard in Hollywood and saw presumably a Joker figure on said billboard, and questioned why all of these movies and take all of these characters and use them to the effect that of generating money and having huge budgets and making it all about, big box office return. And so his idea, based off of that experience, was to make a dark, gritty, low budget version of a character study within it, or a superhero character in it. So that to me got me really excited. The other movie I'm really excited about right now is Lighthouse, but we'll talk about that another time. All right, well, I'm gonna go see the movie, guys. All right, so just walked out of the Joker, and I really liked it. It did the time period so well. It was really put together brilliantly. It really captured the feeling that they were going for. Performances, pretty all amazing. Of course, everything has been said about Joaquin Phoenix, and you really can't say anything else but except that he's just absolutely brilliant. He totally embodies the whole role, the character, everything about it. It was amazingly held together with Todd Phillips's direction, which was what I was kind of worried about, but I'm not worried anymore. It was really good. The music was perfect. The cinematography was beautiful. Each picture, each shot puts you in the scene. You were right there in his apartment, in this city, in the elevator with these characters. You were witness to the terrible, violent acts, and it does get violent, and it does get terrible, and it is about the dangers of people who don't have anything left, who feel like that they've never been listened to in their life. It's dark, it's gritty, and it really
really has something to say, and unfortunately I think that a lot of that is going to be misunderstood or used against it, which is a real shame. But
Okay, so just a couple of final thoughts on Todd Phillips' excellent Joker. Performances are all fantastic. Direction is fantastic. The script is excellent. It tells the story. It sets the mood perfectly. It puts you in this time of corruption and anxiety, social class warfare. It really paints a picture of what it is to kind of go crazy and to kind of lose sight, a moral compass that is kind of definitive to the Joker character from my understanding of it, which is that he, just kind of has no boundaries. And this movie really kind of puts it in there and really puts that concept in your face of what it takes to get somebody to that point. What really puts his character in the space to do these terrible acts and things that he does is an entire life of just disregard, where nobody cares for him. And when he finds out that everything he's been told is a lie about himself, he doesn't see anywhere else to go other than sheer chaos. And to bring down an establishment that's put him down there, although he doesn't necessarily do that or have that goal, that what happens is a product of his actions against that society and against that government. It's that looking away of people. It deals in, the ideas of cut funding for social services, the 1%. So the social relevance is really key right now, and it does have a political message and a socially relevant message. The problem is that it's going to be seen as irresponsible because there are going to be people who take that message the wrong way. The Joker's painted as a very ugly character. Joaquin Phoenix, who is a really good-looking guy, does things with his face and his body that are ugly. And that is an absolute conscious decision by the filmmakers to paint this as somebody that you don't want to be like, to not make him a hero. The way Joker is set up in this movie is he's delusional, abandoned by the community that he wants to be a part of, relentlessly attacks him publicly and drives him to a place that is really dark and really gritty and really unsightly and unsavory, and it's not a pretty picture. And the problem is that people are going to go in thinking that the Joker is their hero or that they want to be the Joker. And, oh, this is how I get to that point when I have to do these acts to get that kind of adoration, which is the point of the movie to me was the opposite of that. Which was that when we don't listen to the people, when we don't, pay attention to what our societies are having to go through and live with, characters like this will come out of that because they have no place else to turn. It's a shame that this is going to have that kind of political connotation to it, and that people are going to see this as a hero when I think it's pretty clearly not a hero movie. It's about the bad guy. In the most, real sense that you can possibly get. So, all in all, I really appreciated the film. I really liked the film. I thought that, again, everything about the movie was just really, really well handled by the filmmakers. The script is great. The writing is believable. The production design, again, you really feel like you're in like a 1970s New York. Which was an excellent homage to, the taxi driver thing. Robert De Niro's fantastic in his supporting role. Joaquin Phoenix, if he doesn't get nominated for an Oscar, it is going to be a real problem. Overall, I got to give the movie a solid A-, because of the negative connotation and the negative things, backlash that it's taken. There is some validity to that, in that when you paint a picture that is violent, that is scary, there are going to be some negative reactions to that. And unfortunately, this movie's just going to have to live with that negative connotation. But it does everything so brilliantly that hopefully people will be able to come out and understand that the actual message is that we need to listen to people when they're at their darkest and when they're at their lowest points. So again, hopefully the good will come from that. I think it's a brilliant movie. I definitely urge everybody to go see it. It's absolutely not for kids. There are moments of insane violence that happen in an instant. It'll go from just kind of being in a room with people standing around to crazy, insane acts of violence. You know, it's got the R rating, you know. But, you know, it's a great movie. It needs to be analyzed. It needs to be talked about. And it needs to be dissected by people who go see it. They need to think about what it means and the consequences of these kind of things. Anyway, thanks for watching. Sure hope you enjoyed it. Again, my name's Tom. So, you know, let me know what you think.